Hi guys, Paul here from PABrewNews. Another cold morning down here. I have two beers from the same brewing company and two similar beers. This is Ommegang's Three Philosophers, regular and wine barrel aged. The regular is the normal cork and cage, what you usually find it, and the wine barrel aged is in the 16-ounce can. I picked this up at Bloom Brew in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. They are from Cooperstown, New York, and the regular is 9.7%, and the wine barrel aged is coming in at 9.3. Why in the hell the wine barrel aged is coming in at a less alcohol by volume? Shucks, I just don't know. I don't have the answer to that most dire question. But there we go. I hope you can see the labels. It's closer to the camera. I don't know how that will look, but let's crack them open and see what we have. I'm not even going to attempt a double pour. I am not Matt from Massive Beer Reviews. Shout out to Matt. I have not the skill. Label out. Throw that in there. Chuck it about there. That's fine. Throw it about here. Swap them since we're going to do the pours. Tendon ice acting up, but not too bad. That hurt a little bit. Even picking up bottles is sometimes a little bit too much for the old elbow. There you go. Got the old, woo, gone. A little twist. Pops nice. All right. Pour this into the old glassy wassy. Okay. Little comparison video. Figured it'd be fun to do. Three Philosophers is definitely the beer that I thought was the cat's meow from Ommegang Brewing Company. I really, really like that beer. Did that beer again a long time ago when I was on a holiday over at the Gateway Lodge. I did that in the hot tub. Bare Naked Beer Reviews. Thank you, Johnny from DJ's Brew Tube. And then later I just did I think I did it again on my channel, but I'm not sure. But I definitely did the wine barrel aged variant here recently. So I figured, hey, why not do a side-by-side? I think I can get this. I know I can get this. There we go. Because honestly, I couldn't pull too much wine. A rind of darker wine out of it. But I couldn't pick much because there was a lot of cherry coming out from the creek that's been added. So figure, and there will be me getting up and restarting the vinyl. That's already to be said. Now, right now, without even looking at it too hard, you can tell that the head is much, much bigger. There's actually, up to the light, the head is much bigger on the non-barrel aged version. Lacing is beautiful, and there's a little bit of a lightness, actually, to, that might be because of the blanket of shadow that the head is creating, but it seems there's a little bit more of a lightness to the color. They're both vibrant cherry caramel tones. This seems to be a little bit more on the lighter side, but again, this one doesn't have that blanket of head like this one does. But yeah, just a little bit more. And I guess this one's a little bit more vibrant on the carbonation. Let's go with the Original first. Cheers. Yeah, beautiful candied sugar. Dark candy sugar, caramel, brown sugar. Definitely pulling those raisins and a little bit of cherry out of this one because you have that creek coming through. Now that one actually gave me like strawberry, sharp strawberry with mixing with that cherry. But definitely has a nice backbone of toffee, brown sugar, caramel, candied sugars. Even a little bit of brown bread kind of tonality, a little bit of roastiness. All right. And now we shall do this one. Cheers. This has more of a sharper tonality of like a sherry, a little bit of a sherry tonality, a little bit of that tart cherry, and then a little bit of a dark cherry too, black cherry. Dare I say, smell a little either sweet tarty or Jolly Rancher kind of tonalities coming through with that cherry. The cherry that's coming out of this, those dark fruits, that kind of black cherry, strawberry, tart cherry qualities, is more vibrant and kind of almost all-encompassing. It's really strong. That's what's coming out of this. Hint of a slight oakiness. There's a little bit of that dark Belgian sugar coming out too. A little bit of a tonality of a roasty toasty tone. A little burnt caramel, but just a bit. This is more vibrant on the whole dark cherry, light tart cherry vibe. That rind of a little bit of something that reminds me of a hint of a port or a little bit of a hint of a sherry. That's coming out of that. This one is a full-blown dark Belgian beer with those beautiful fruit tones coming forward. So, let's get into it. 9.7% alcohol by volume. Cheers. Medium side of a medium body. A little oiliness, a little pillowiness with that head too mixing in there. A little burning right here from that 9.3, which is funny because I've had beers that are a lot higher that don't give you any, but this definitely had a little bit of a waft of something going down. Try it again. That head definitely adds a little bit of a creaminess, which is nice. Like I said, medium side of a medium body, a little oiliness. Caramel, caramel, brown sugar, toffee, a little bit of, again, on the back end, a little bit of that kind of toasted brown bread. Lots of Belgian candy sugars, caramel. You do get hints of raisins. You get hints of those nice little soft tart cherry, kriek kind of qualities that are coming through. They're nuanced, but they're there. And this is just a very, very beautiful beer. And it just, those nuances of that kriek is coming through and complementing the beer really nicely. It's not trying to overtake anything. It's mostly the quad. And then you have that nice little sharpness of that kriek kind of coming through. Super, super easy drinking. Really delectable, really tasty. Something that's light enough to be very easy drinking and approachable, but something robust enough and the nuance to be really savory. Really nice. I've never had a bad time drinking this beer. This beer has always been a very, very nice, very approachable beer, and it doesn't matter what age. Of course, you know, you want them about 1,000,000 years old, even better, but this one's a fresh one, pretty dang sure, and it's still really, really nice. So let's get into the wine barrel aged. Well, cheers. It's the medium side of a medium body. That kind of pillowiness and oiliness is a little bit gone. There's a little bit of oiliness there too, but not as much. But I would still say it feels a bit thinner, but I would still say it's hovering that medium side of a medium mouthfeel. Maybe just a touch less now and again when that oiliness kind of dissipates. Don't rock the boat, guys. Don't rock the boat. I gotta fix that. This is a little bit more on the bland side, especially in that back end. You don't get those nuances of those dark caramels, toffees, brown sugar, toasted brown. You don't get those tonalities. It's really watered down, tart cherry, hints of black cherry, maybe a little strawberry as well. Those kind of tonalities are sitting on the back of the palate. It's very sharp up front. Those fruit notes. There's a hint of a Belgian candied sugar, a little bit of a caramel up front, and that kind of dissipates. Yeah, that dissipates very quickly. You're left with a little bit of a soft, how do I say this? A soft muted fruit tonality. It's that little bit of that Belgian candy sugar mutedness, a little bit of caramel too. Just cut blanking the palate as very watered down, and you get those lingering tonalities of very soft, nuanced, slight cherry, black cherry, strawberry, those kind of tonalities. Again, it has a little bit of a sherry quality to it. I think it's supposed to be red wine, but it's giving me a little bit of a sherry tonality. That dark cherry, black currant kind of quality is definitely from red wine. Makes sense. I don't get that in the regular quad. So that's exactly where that's coming from, the barrel character. It doesn't have an oakiness. It really doesn't have a dry kind of tannic note, a sharpness, which would have been really nice, kind of lift the beer and clean it up. So it's not kind of that muddled, watery quality in the background. So I feel that even though it's really cool to get a wide variant of a Belgian aged quad mixed with a creek, like I do, like it is, especially in a can, which is a crazy style. You know, I know there's a lot of conflict in the beer world, the wine world, the drinking world, has been for quite a long time. Regular cork, synthetic cork, cork, screw cap, bottle, can. I mean, you can just go on and on and on, especially with the different styles. People do get very stylistic when it comes, okay, that can be in a bottle, but that has to be in a can. That could be in a can, but that has to be in a bottle. That kind of deal. Well, you can't do this, you can't do that. So it brings a lot of discussion to the table. Most of them are traditionalists. And most of the people that bring certain things, like I'm a traditionalist about naming certain drink from where it originated, where it's supposed to be from. The one brewer, and he's right. He's right. The one brewer over at Boxcar Brewing Company. He said, because I mentioned in the bourbon barrel aged barley wine that we did that was very, very good. I wish I had another one. It was maple syrup barley wine, by the way. Bourbon. I said, oh, it's a PA bourbon, so it's a PA whiskey. It's not really bourbon. It wasn't made in Kentucky. And he said, there's no state law setting that you can't call it this. That's absolutely fucking true. One, we're a commonwealth, not a state, so tang. But number two, it's more of respect for the tradition, respect for the style, respect for the drink, respect for people who made it before. That's why you do that. You don't do it because it's a law and I'm going to find you. I'll be right back. I'm going to start the line all over again. In the background, and I have pants on, so it's a good day. There we go. It's definitely not anything like that, because it just shows you people that, it seems to me and others anyway, that when people take that next step to understand and respect the tradition, the style, the names, they bring quality with it. That's why you don't really get champagne when it's not brewed in the Champagne region of France, because really good vintners and stuff call it sparkling wine. People that just make plonk call it champagne, and it's usually very poor quality. But when you get a very good quality champagne, it's usually called sparkling wine when it's not made in the Champagne region of France, Beaujolais and stuff like that, Burgundies. It's a whole thing. Obviously, it stems from my wine background, because of course I was in wine years and years and years before I was into beer. But it just kind of carries over. It's kind of like why we don't call, that's why people get really upset when you call things scotch that wasn't aged in an oak barrel in Scotland for so many years, because people are like that. You know what I mean? And it's kind of just respecting and holding on to tradition. So it's kind of interesting seeing these kind of styles put in certain containers, and it's kind of weird, and it brings up a lot of debate. And no one's wrong, because it's their opinion. You know what I mean? As long as you can put it in a can and it doesn't go bad and doesn't explode the can, I mean, hey, good on you. I mean, there you go. That's really all it is. And I like a can. It's 100% light seal, air seal. As long as it's not, I know some of all these fruited sours and stuff, when you can them, they could re-ferment and blow up. That's not good. That definitely is a problem. But so can bottles. But other than that, I'm a very proponent of the can. I definitely like a can. So that has to be said. Now back to the beer after that little tiny rant. It wasn't a rant. It was just a little doodly-doos. There we go. I am preferring the original Three Philosophers. I don't feel that the Three Philosophers, the wine barrel aged Three Philosophers. I need to fix this fucking table. Don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat. Tip the boat over. You know. I definitely think that this is just a little bit too much unnecessary fruit, and it detracts from everything great about the beer. The beer is supposed to be, now if it was a simple creek in wine barrels, but why would you do that? Because it's fruit upon fruit, but they kind of did that. It would make more sense, but what I'm drinking is taking away all the quad. Basically, you're keeping the alcohol. There's a little bit of tonality of a little bit nuanced of a Belgian candy sugar and a little bit of muted caramel toffee, but that's it. The rest is kind of overshadowed, watered out. The body seems thinner. The Belgian quad characters are completely almost gone, and the fruit that it does bring, it doesn't give you a beautiful tannic hint of vanilla, ripe. Well, it depends on what barrel it is anyway, but like tannic, walnut, drying, beautiful, ripe red wine kind of big thing that hits your palate right in the middle and dissipates nice, very tasty, peppery. Like I said, black currants kind of working around on the palate, rose hips, those things. It's not really giving you that. It's like giving you a little slight bit of a black cherry, black currant kind of strawberry tonality on a mix with already the tart cherry that's there. So you're almost just kind of adding on to the tart cherry kind of vibe when that doesn't need accented. It's already there. You need something else to come and bombard the palate. You know what I mean? So it just doesn't work right for me. It doesn't work right. And now that I've had the actual bottle, I can see where I want to place these, because I was a little confused. I really was a little confused when I had just the wine barrel variant on my last review. I was like, okay, where the hell is this in my brain box? Where am I putting this compared to the original? You know, where does this fall? Because I wasn't really enjoying it. And it gave me the idea of doing a side-by-side, which I don't do very often. But just from what I've had now, yeah, I definitely like the quad more. Now, real talk, I've had better quads in my day. So, I normally gave Ommegang from Cooperstown, New York, 9.7% alcohol by volume. I usually would give the Three Philosophers a 9 out of 10. It is a bit thin. It is a bit nuanced. Could be a little bit more bombastic. I've had, like I said, I've had better quads in the 9 region, the 9.5 region. And I don't do quarter points like Joe does over the Beer Patrol. Shout out to Joe at the Beer Patrol. If you're not subbed to him, do so absolutely immediately. He is far superior to me in beer reviewing and much more entertaining and a clearer picture and the whole deal. And you don't have to listen to shitty music while you do it. And look at me. So that's even better. But anyway, I will give this now a 8.5 out of 10. It's still a great beer. Please, for God's sakes, if you see this in your local apartment, especially if it's aged, if you walk into a place where Three Philosophers have been sitting there for 5 fucking years, case stores, there might be a case store near me where I know where one is. If that is the case, please do buy it. You'll really enjoy it. Same thing with Trois Pistoles from Unibrew, the same deal. Great beer. If you see it aged, pick it up. Definitely enjoy it. 8.5 is still a very good score. I'm going to knock this one down a little bit. It loses a lot of vibrancy. It loses a little bit of body. And it overshadows you with fruit that really didn't need to be added to the mix to make anything better, if you know what I mean. It just kind of overshadowed everything. So, it's a little bit too bland and too thin for a nice quad. And the barrel is not really that vibrant. It's not doing what it should be doing. So I can't give it the solid grade that I normally would. Now, especially the side-by-side has really opened my eyes to what we had and what we have now, if you know what I mean. And I'm glad. I'm glad I did it. And obviously it's a couple points lower in ABV, which is shameful. How do you take something that's 9.7 and put it in a barrel that is seeped with alcohol that has its own ABV? You put it in there, and it's less? Unless, no, I don't know. the only way you could do that is adding water. And if they did that, it sure fucking tastes like it. I mean, it really does. So I'm going to give, I gave this one a 8.5. I'm going to give this one a 7. A 7 out of 10. That's my honest opinion, side by side, here and now, and above all things truthful. There we go, PABrewNews. So Ommegang Brewing Company's, their 3 Philosophers and 3 Philosophers wine barrel aged in a can. 8.5. Definitely great beer. Do please, if you've had it, let me know your thoughts and opinions. If you definitely see this, pick it up and try it. I do believe you'll like it. And the wine barrel aged variant, I think you'll still appreciate it for what it is. Do give it a go. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. But it is a lesser of the two. So this has been Paul from PABrewNews. Until next time, don't rock the boat. Cheers.